Mike Bohn joined now by Beneil Dariush, who returns at UFC 322 against Benoit Saint Denis. Opening the main card now, Beneil, rightfully so, where you belonged all along. I know you fought everywhere at this point on fight cards, but did that promotion of sorts mean anything to you when you heard that news?
Yeah, I didn't realize this was such a big thing. I'll be honest with you. As far as the UFC goes, putting me there, obviously grateful, and I recognize that they recognize me, so that's great. But I gotta tell you, bro, Adolfo Vieira was like the guy in jiu-jitsu when I was coming up. I was a purple belt and brown belt, and he was the man. He was submitting like champions that I looked up to. He was beating people that I was like, no way, this guy's gonna beat those guys. So Adolfo Vera, I view him in a very high light. And then same thing with Bo Nickel. Like I'm a big fan of wrestling and what Penn State does. But what's special about Bo is his style is actually kind of outside of the Penn State style. He had a very funky style. Uh, um, Not quite like Askren, but he definitely had his own style. So was a fan of him too. You know what I mean? When they put him up there, I had no gripes about it. Not a big deal for me. I know some fighters get bothered by that, but it's like it doesn't change how much I get paid. It doesn't, you know what I mean. It just changes 30 minutes as far as when I fight. But I mean, either way, I'm stoked to be on this card. I'm stoked to be fighting in Madison Square Garden. I'm just excited to get to fight a tough guy like Benoit.
Yeah, it's a great card. I mean, I'm sure backstage you're warming up all that stuff. Like it's literally a 20 to 30 minute difference, if that, depending on how long the previous fight goes. So I'm sure as you guys are preparing, it's not a big deal. But some fans get very worked up about this. I don't mind it too much though.
Yeah, I mean, I've been starting to hear about that. Like it was, the fans were bothered by it. And I gotta just say thank you to the fans. Like,
Yeah.
one thing I will say about my career, I was never that good to my fans. I was, I never spent too much time on social media. I didn't, respond enough to the fans, and I want to say I would change that if I could do it over again, but it's so difficult. It's so time consuming, and just it was either that or put it into the family. So, I chose the family route. Anyways, I want the fans to know I appreciate it and love them. It's just I made my choice.
No, I think you're fine, Beneil. I haven't heard any stories of you, declining anyone a photo or an autograph. I'm sure you're very generous of your time with your time when you're out at the, UFC events and things like that. So
Yeah,
you're good. The social media
man.
stuff is for everyone. So
You know what I mean? For sure for that stuff like that, that's no problem. But
yeah.
I always have people like, hey, how come you're never on Twitter or X and you're never, blah blah blah. I was like, bro, you know how much energy that takes to consistently make videos or respond to people. It's a genuine job. Like if you want to be good at social media, you can't half-ass it. It's one of those things where you have to be consistent every day, and you have to have content, and the content has to be good. So, I just recognized like I don't got it. I don't got it, and I don't want to have it. So it ain't gonna happen.
You're preaching to the choir. I totally get it. And when you entered the UFC, it was a different landscape in that regard. I feel a little bit too. So either way, you've had a very successful career. So I wouldn't worry too much about this stuff.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man. Well, they obviously put this fight to open the main card for a reason. It's an incredible matchup between you and Benoit, super high level lightweight fight. This is one that I don't know felt kind of inevitable. I mean, you can fight anyone in the top 15 at any time in this division.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually hoping for guys like Dan Hooker. I was hoping for different guys, but it just didn't happen. Give me 1 second. No, Emma, no crying. Go, get out of here, bro. No crying. You cry over everything. Okay. But yeah, I was hoping to get somebody ranked higher. Like Emma, steady interview, Vadlet. That's not nice. Okay, Bessa. Okay. I was hoping to get somebody like Dan Hooker. I was hoping to get somebody basically ranked ahead of me. I even asked for Max Holloway, knowing I doubt it's gonna happen. But it was really there's no availability. Obviously I found out Armand is fighting Dan Hooker, and Gamrot was an option, but then he ended up fighting Charles, and then I've already fought Gamrot. I would like to fight somebody different, and so here we are.
Hey, I don't think it's a bad matchup at all. Dustin Poirier got a title shot off beating Benoit Saint Denis. I know it was kind of circumstantial, but I think clearly they like him, and it's he was kind of in this same spot, right? You got to prove yourself against the next generation guy or whatever, and he did his thing, and I'm sure you're trying to do yours.
Yeah, obviously, Dustin Poirier and I are very different. I'm never gonna get the title shots off the same things like Dustin, and I understand that, and it's fine. Um, I believe having a win over him right now is really important because what he has is momentum. He kind of fell off, but
Hmm.
then he went on these two back-to-back fights where he was very dominant, especially the Roofy fight because everybody's like, "Oh man, Roofy's the next big thing," and he really, crushed that momentum there. So I think he picked up the momentum, and now everybody's looking at him. With a different light again. So it's great opportunity for me to remind people like, hey, I'm still here. I can fight the best guys in the world, and BSD is one of the best guys in the world.
Have you seen him make adjustments or improvements off that Poirier fight? Like, I'm sure in his mind, he's thinking, that opportunity didn't go my way, but I have another chance here against, one of the winningest lightweights we've ever seen in the UFC. He's probably looking at it as a big moment and figuring out what he needs to do different in that spot. Do you expect him to, like, are you seeing a different guy who maybe learned a lot from that loss?
Yeah, I mean, when I watch his fights after those losses, because then he had to fight with Hanato that didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
I what I think he's getting more of his experience, and I think experience plays a huge factor. And that experience will teach you like, hey, now's the time to grapple. Now's the time to strike. Now is the time to conserve energy. Now's the time to let it all go. I think he's getting better at that. I think he's recognizing like, hey, I need to use my grappling here. I need to use my striking here. I can't sprint. If I sprint right now, I'm gonna gas out. If I don't sprint right now, I'm gonna lose the fight. So I think he's getting better at that, and I think that's where his success is coming from.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We're like this division interesting right now. I figured Ilya probably would have had his fight announced by this point if they're having to plan him fight in January, but it still seems wide open. I saw some people saying today maybe they're waiting to see if Islam wins or loses on the main event of this card, but I don't know. It's like, do you feel like we're just waiting for something here, or what do you think is going to happen with Ilya?
Yeah, but imagine if he is waiting for Islam and they make that fight happen. Like, how much would it back up every division? It would
Yeah.
really slow everything down. So I think they'll announce something eventually. It'll either be Patty or Justin Gagey from the looks of it. But we'll see. I could be wrong, man.
No,
Maybe
for sure.
they do that fight, and as much as I think it'll be a huge sell. People want to see that fight. I just think division wise, it's gonna slow things down.
Yeah, well, if Islam loses, who knows? He says he's not really interested in coming back to lightweight. If he wins, I certainly want to see him fight, some of these incredible welterweights. Look at all these contender fights on the main card you're on. Like, I want to see him fight some of the dudes who are winning these fights and have done the work at welterweight.
Yeah, yeah. I like Brady, man. Brady
Yeah.
looks great. Shavkat, obviously, we haven't seen him in a while, but he's a stud. It's just there's a lot of guys at welterweight, and I'd like to see those as well. You're totally right.
Yeah. You share management with Justin Gaethje. Do you believe, what's kind of being said? If he doesn't get the shot, he's going to retire?
Man, Justin is. I think he's kind of man of his word. So we'll see. Um, I don't want to jump and be like, oh, he this or that. But I typically Justin is the kind of guy if he says he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it. So we'll see how it goes.
Hmm. Do you think he should get the shot?
I would say Armand is more deserving, but
Mhm.
that's not always what gets you the title shot.
Yeah. Well, and he's fighting too. He's got to get through Dan Hooker. Do you think he wins that?
Yes, I do
Yeah.
think he beats Dan Hooker, and I think he could do it very dominantly. But 5 round fight, I got to tell you, man, Dan Hooker is a dog. If he can, he doesn't have to win the first 2 rounds, but if he just does well in the first 2 rounds, that'll be a really interesting fight. What I mean by well is, keeping the fight close and making Armand work. The 5 rounds will be really interesting to watch. So I think that's a really fun fight to watch.
Yeah, super interesting. It's a great month. It's kind of just a shame that the biggest story in the sport right now is this whole, betting scandal, Isaac Dulgarian situation. Have you seen this going on? What have you thought of this?
Could you explain it to me exactly what's going on? Because I've just being in camp, I haven't
Sure.
been keeping up with it.
Yeah, so basically, he had his fight on Saturday at the Apex, and like in the couple hours prior to the fight starting, there was a lot of movement in the betting lines. Like it almost got cut in half, and a lot of the money that was coming in was on him to lose Bulgarian by first round finish, first round submission on these
Mm.
prop bets. And Dana actually just did his first interview talking about this with TMZ. He said they heard wind of this suspicious, movement through their integrity partner, and they went in, talked to Dulgarian and his team, said like, "Has anyone approached you? Do you have people threatening you? Like all the potential scenarios that I guess could maybe lead to something like this." He said, 100% like nothing is going on. I'm going to go in there and kill this guy like with my best effort. And then he goes in there and loses by first round submission. And Dana said he immediately gets on the phone with the FBI. They're all looking into it. And yeah, it's been kind of a lot of up in the air since then. He hasn't been charged or anything like that. But Dana said in this interview that they're FBI folding this investigation to everything that happened with James Krause a few years ago and that Derek Minner fight. That a lot of people like similar thing, a lot of weird betting activity coming in before the fight. He loses in the way the betting activity was going, and yeah, now a lot of people wondering if there's fixed
Wow,
fights or what's going on. Other fighters have come out on social media saying they've been approached with offers to take dives for like 70 grand, 100 grand.
wow.
It's crazy.
So what I think is, I mean, this is wild. I'll be honest. No one's ever approached me, and I think they know I would never accept that. That being said, um, I think if the FBI is involved, they're, I mean, they're gonna have access to all his messages, all his phone calls, all his records, and so it's not gonna take long before they figure it out, unless he did the whole business, face to face. But even then, I wouldn't be surprised because what they could do is they could basically track the location of your phone and everybody's phone you've been in contact with, and man, yeah, it'll be really difficult to get away with it. So, but I mean, it definitely sounds like he might have done it. But again, innocent until proven guilty. So, uh,
Mhm.
did the UFC release him?
They did release him, and then
Oh,
Mark Montoya was on Ariel Helwani's show today saying that like he's not welcome back at the team, and basically saying they had no knowledge or nothing to do with this. And Mark Montoya seems like a pretty upstanding guy, so I tend to believe him. But you could tell he was pretty distraught and just like feeling all the effects of this coming off them, because I'm sure anyone associated, coaches, managers, teammates, all kind of get put under the scope.
so the fact that they're moving forward that quickly, there's a good chance they already have the information they need because if not, because the whole innocent until proven guilty, that actually gives leverage to what's the fighter's name again?
Isaac Dulgarian.
It would give Isaac Dulgarian the ability to actually, I think, go after the UFC and everybody that's basically pushing him away. So there's a good chance the UFC already has their answer.
Yeah, you just kind of wonder how much of this has gone on, and if other
How
fighters
often
getting
it happens,
approached.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I wonder how often
scary.
it happens. That that totally ruins our sport. If this is something that's happening on a regular basis. I wonder. What I'm about to say is not going to be popular, but obviously I'm not a believer in gambling. I'm not a fan of gambling, so I wonder if they will just remove gambling. But I don't know if we can. I don't know if you could do it because
Yeah,
it's outside of our control, outside the UFC's control. So really interesting.
yeah. I mean, I know that UFC, all every sports major sports league has betting sponsorships and
Yeah.
partnerships with all these things. It's not all the ads. I mean, I feel like the stuff where you can minimize this is removing the prop bets of this undercard fighter on an Apex event is gonna lose a fight by first round submission, second round submission, where you can bet on like the specific,
Yeah.
form and all that, and it creates bigger odds and all these things. But yeah, I'm no betting expert, but I've learned more about it in the past 3 days than
I
I ever
mean,
intended to.
yeah, I see what you're saying. It makes sense. But let's say the UFC cuts off all its partnerships with gambling. They can still gamble, right? It doesn't really change anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. I wonder if you could modify it in a way where it's a lot harder to basically make money off of those dives.
Yeah.
Because like you said, oh, first round submission, all of a sudden the odds are way different, a lot more money, and if the guy takes a dive, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I think that's a really intelligent approach. I wonder if they're going to take that approach and kind of see if they can game plan something like that.
Yeah, and Dan just put out. I watched it like 2 minutes before I got on the call with you. It just came out, so I'm kind of reacting to it for the first time. But he was also kind of saying like they're monitoring every fight so closely with this betting integrity partner. Like any weird movement and stuff, they're all aware of. So you just almost wonder what the upside is of doing something like this. I mean, it's a guy who seemingly had a lot of promise. He's now cut from the UFC. I would
Yeah,
imagine and hope, if proven guilty, that no other MMA organization would use him, so you ruin your career there. And imagine that they freeze your bank accounts or things like this, and you couldn't
yeah,
even get
for
the
sure.
money you were taking the
Yeah,
dive for, anyways.
yeah. I mean, that's. I think there's jail time for that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Dana, that very famous press conference where he said to me around the James Krause thing, "You won't go to jail; you'll go to federal fucking prison." Was his quote. Sorry if the
yeah,
kids are
there you go.
screaming.
Yeah, it's okay. They're just being wild over there. They won't. Yeah, so federal prison makes sense because it's a federal crime. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. Well, yeah. Anyways, back to you. Before I let you go here, 2026, as we said, the debut was January 14th. That'll be your 13th year in the UFC coming up. That must feel good. And I don't know, you still seem like you have all the big goals ahead of you.
Nothing's changed. The goal is to
Yeah,
be a champion. I don't fight to just fight. I don't fight just to be, on pay-per-views or on events. I'm I'm trying to be a champion, and that's what I'm chasing. So, Lord willing, next year is the year.
yeah. I mean, it feels like anything can happen in this division right now. So
So,
feels wide open.
hopefully, with that, anything is me being champion. I like that.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Well, I'll see you out there in New York next week, so it's going to be an exciting week, man. This one, is this like on the bucket list? MSG, all that stuff. Is this one that,
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
that
Well,
you
I
had
mean,
put out?
bro, didn't even put it on my bucket list because I didn't even think it would ever happen. Because for a long time we weren't allowed to go fight there,
Yeah,
and now for sure. Okay, okay, Daddy. That's pishli para kaditatem. But yes, for sure on a bucket list. After it was allowed for us to go and fight in New York. I'm super stoked about this, and we get to stay near Central Park, and I love Central Park, so pretty excited for the whole thing.
oh yeah, man, awesome. Well, I'll see you out there, Beneil. I appreciate your time. Yeah, go spend time with those kids.
Take care, brother.